What's up, everybody? It is Robbie from PPG Expo, giving you guys a quick update with my top 8 appearance. The important part is, I'll just give it out there ahead of time, I was knocked out by Black Mass Saiyan, so that's probably what you all came to hear. It's true, it beat me. This is the exact list I ran, except for 2 card differences. Shenron's Lair is being difficult, so I can't do it exactly. So I apologize ahead of time. So I'm going to talk about what I did run and what worked, and then we'll discuss what's not in the deck as well. Heroes Lineage, always a good card. It's one of the reasons I got top 8. I was stealing anything I could at any time. I don't play it like Eddie. I don't try to wait for that like final attack or any of that. The second you put down a battle card that I think I would like, I just steal it. At one point I played against a TN World Tournament deck. It was very good. He threw out a TN. It had double strike. I was like, mine please. I will take that. At some point I played a Mecha Leader. He did beat me, Matthew Coombs. I'll talk about that more later. I stole a Great Ape. I was like, I like an ape. It's got double strike. I think that's a trend, actually. I think the only thing I stole that didn't have double strike was from Dark Brawly, because it's a 30k. And let me tell you, it feels really good to steal their Heartfelt Trigger. I did that against one of my opponents. So, like, he purposely baited out, on his turn 3, he summons the 7-drop. And if you summon the 7-drop and you're a Dark Brawly player, I'm going to talk about it more as I talk about my deck list, but immediately go into Heartfelt. Awaken, attack, awaken. Don't give me a chance to steal it or kill it. I shouldn't have won some of my games had people thought about it. But the hard part about it was they wanted that extra value, so they attacked with the 70k. I mean the 30k. I stole it. Or in the case of one of the games, I played Dark Brawly twice. So the issue was that I did Hercule and Boo one game and Cooler the other, so I made it a 20k. So when he went to Awaken, I was like, no, it's a 20k. And he was like, well, that's a good point. It is not a 25k. It doesn't trigger. It was pretty good. I liked it a lot. You'll see here, while I go over this list, I played 2 Dark Brawly, I think it was. One might have been in Top Cut. It's a little bit confusing on when. I think it was 2 in the main. In top 16, I played against the World Tournament TN. I played against the really cool decks you see that are circulating to try to counter the Majin Vegeta decks and all the weird decks that are out there. I played against a Piccolo deck that I killed on 2. I was really proud about that. I felt like a jerk, but I was like, I'm just going to go for it with crazy aggro. I'll discuss with you how I did that. Let me see, what else was there? Dark Brawly. Oh, Baby Hatch. Baby Hatch I played. That was unpleasant. In my sideboard, which you can't see here, I had Dark Banisher Fu. Never got to play it. I don't think. I just killed them with old school tactics. It was not pleasant, to say the least. It was very rough. Overall, the tournament kind of was rough. It's such an established tournament that the players that were there wanted to make money. No one was there. It was super casual. You guys already heard about the sharking. I was next to the guys when it happened. Whatever. I mean, that's kind of a thing with card games where some people are rules lawyers, and you just have to explain the best you can of why you shouldn't get rules lawyered. My friend Dylan, he got rules lawyered at Nationals. He actually touched Supreme Kai, and he touched his card and then kept comboing. And the judge at that time ruled that the Supreme Kai didn't gain double strike, even though he indicated it with a touch, because he didn't vocalize it. So that's kind of what happened to this guy with Haze, and I don't agree with it, but I like to stay out of the drama because it doesn't really matter in the end. This was a fun event, for lack of a better term. We only had 52 players. I think we focus on the part that was cool, and that was the Black Mass Saiyan deck. Did pretty good. It was a fun deck. I liked it. And let's go over some of the stuff with it. So this is my list that I ran. I did not run Mercenary Tau. I cut it. I learned that Mercenary Tau was a win more card, and I wanted to lower my deck down to about 56 cards, I think I ran. I didn't want to go as close to 60. And then the second card I cut was Violent Rays. Yeah, I know. Crazy in this format, but I figured that no good players were going to be playing Dark Brawly and that I could outplay them and then side it in. Now, when I say a good player, I just mean somebody that's like so good at it, like a Matthew Legends, you know, when they're like or Michael Legends, where they're just crushing you, and you can't stop it because there are some of those Dark Brawly players. I just didn't know if I'd expect to see them, and I figured it'd just be easier to cut it. I think the real answer is I can act like it's because I didn't think there was going to be that many great players playing Dark Brawly. But the real answer is I got sick of playing Violent Rays. Violent Rays is so expensive. Like, you don't realize how expensive it is until it's the turn that you need to play it. And you want to cast Violent Rays, but you only got 6 cards in hand because Dark Brawly's already removed some cards from your hand throughout the game. Your hand size isn't big, so you Violent Rays them. Sure, you survive a turn, but now you got no cards in your hand to kill them with. And it just stinks. I don't like it. So I took it out. That's the real reason. I don't like Violent Rays. The $66 card, and I don't like it. That being said, I don't plan on selling my set because it is extremely expensive. But I didn't beat Dark Brawly because of that. I beat Dark Brawly because of this guy. Boy, is he good. Turn 1, frequently, if I got the nuts, I would charge a Majin Buu. That's the majority of what that card did. He got charged. I did not get very excited about playing him. I can't recall any games that I won by playing him. So that being said, like, he's an arrival target, but if there's another red-blue that you want to play in this build, feel free. Like, the red-blue untap lands, they would have been great because I sometimes got multiple Hercules and couldn't play anything. And that card's pretty good. It's a 20k 2-drop. Like, it's fine. And it's an untapped land. And Cooler was amazing. Cooler was great. I played Justin Rios in day 2 for like the best of 1 event, and I milled his Supreme Kai, so that would have been a huge problem for me. But this right here beat Dark Brawly every time. So on turn 2, after I had charged this, on their turn 2, once they had brought in one of their Brawlies and like warped a card and then attacked with it, I would Divine Beerus into a Cooler. So I had a 20k on my side that had double strike. They usually would take a life to go to 7, and I think that is the right play. Like, it's nothing to insult them with because it's the right play. Like, you want to take cards with Dark Brawly just in case your opponent has critical damage. Then I would drop Piccolo Jr., I would have the Nuts hand, and I would drop Trunks a Helping Hand. I would purposely attack them with, first of all, to Cooler. My leader swing, I think it was, to 6. They would take that damage. Then Cooler I would attack with Piccolo Jr. to put them to 3 damage because they would burn for 1. Then Cooler would attack, and I would blow now my 2 combos that I would get to put them to 30k. And so most of them wouldn't want to awaken, so they'd either take that damage and go to 1, which meant I would obviously win whenever I was ready to win, or what most of them would do was purposely defend with whatever cards they had left in their hand that were 5Ks, and it would just be very expensive for them. They'd lose 4 cards out of it, so that way they could save their Awaken. And that's usually how I beat Dark Brawly. It wasn't too bad. By now, I feel like the meta's kind of figured out, so that helped a lot. Instead of running Vegeta protecting his loved ones, I was playing the blue version in my sideboard, and it worked really well. So I would play this on turn 2, and it would let me turn off their ability to, counter a bunch. Then I would attack with the Zarbuto, and then I would untap the Zarbuto at a later point with Dark Rejuvenation Toa. Dark Rejuvenation Toa did a lot of work. She's how I killed the Dark Massayan. Black Massayan? What is it? Actually, I don't actually know what it is. I think whatever it is, because she's Dark Rejuvenation, I think that's what it is, but I don't actually have a clue. Whatever it is, but the leader is really good because it untaps 2, and it's basically just a Veject stack. So on game 1, I think it was, he went very aggressive with his life and knocked himself to like 5 life or 6 life, and then I played Piccolo and just put him to a low damage really quickly, and then cleaned up on turn 3, and then I tried to do the exact same play in Top Cut. Did not work in the second game. And then in the third game, I just had a bad hand where, like, I think I had 10 Ks. And if you look at my list, I'm not running, like, I'm running about 12. So, like, my hand was just all of them, and I had no untaps to do anything with. So he just ran me over. So it was fun. Topo, very MVP. I would actually say a mistake on my part was not running 4 Topos. And why, you might ask, is Topo's even better in launch than you expect, because you can do a lot of tricks with her in, like, discarding launch to Pure Hearted, or discarding a Dispo for later. Like, you get value out of it, so it doesn't hurt you any to discard 1 card when you're also time locking your opponent. A few times I would purposely wait to Topo. I think I did this against Dark Brawly, one of the games, where I was at 7 life. He started his attacks, and I purposely went to 4 life. Then I defended his attack that would put me to 3, because it was his leader swing. He went to like 30k, and then when he went for like his 5th attack, I topoed, so that way if he wanted to keep going, which he did, he had to keep discarding cards, so I could then have another Divine Beerus and a Bean, which I did have. So that way if he went really big and dropped me to 2 during that attack, I would Divine Beerus, so I'd have another topo. But it was really just a really solid event. Like, I'd like to say that, like, I had something really clever or unique, but I'd say the only thing I really did that was clever-ish was this Dark Rejuvenation Toa. I think this is a card we need to revisit more often and play more often. I think I'm going to be playing it in King Vegeta to give you an idea of some of the power level of this card, especially on turn 3. Like, it feels very good to go Piccolo Jr. attack, tap 1 card, have them negate it, draw 2, play the Toa, untap it, and then now use all your alliance effects once you know it's resolved. Like, you can easily take an opponent from 4 life to 2 to 0 without just having a board. Some cards that came really good was Piccolo Jr., like I said, I played against. He was a very good opponent. He gave up on 2 because it would have taken like his entire hand to defend my attack when I was gonna like he just died like on 2. He technically could have awakened and like survived 1 turn, but at that point I had 8 life. My hand was still fairly full because I did play Piccolo Jr., and I played Sun and Goku Awakening. I had the Trunks, and then during his attack on my turn, I had just done enough to just draw, and so the Sun Goku was the only card I had lost. So, you're just looking down a barrel of death at that point. And that's the biggest weakness to Piccolo, right? Like, if you go to 1 life at the end of turn 2, when it's your turn 1, you're probably not going to win that, and he knew it, and so he didn't make us save time and waste it, so we just got to go on. What was really cool was game 2 versus him. He went a different line of play where he started to go a lot more slower with Symbol. He didn't play the drum route, and it actually was a lot harder to beat. I sided in Kaioken. If you guys are familiar with the red card, it kills anything with barrier for 2 energy, or you can pay 3 and play it. The hard part about it was because he didn't go drum, I got to wipe his entire board. So he had like 6 battle cards out, and he had just topoed. So he had topoed and went down like to, let's say, 6 cards in hand. And so I was able to pass the turn, completely wipe him. And then the next turn, I played Dark Banisher Fu, who I sided in versus him. That was probably one of my MVPs for sideboard, was running Dark Rejuvenation Toa for the main list and then switching to Dark Banisher Fu. Everything else about it is the generic launch. Like, if you're going to play red-green, you play Piccolo. I still say don't run Tricolor. It's my recommendation. I'm just obsessed with the deck, so I'm still going to do it. Going forward, I think we become mono red. I'll have a list up hopefully in a few weeks for the next regional. I'm definitely going to use the new championship cards with the Goku, and then kind of abuse Mercenary Tau and some other cards, so we don't need all these like as big as a deck. So like I'd like to be like a 55 card deck. That's it, guys. Like I said, top 8 finish, so I'll take it. That kind of finishes the end of set 13 for me. Well, before the sets before we get to 13. So that'll be nice. I'm pretty excited about it. As you can tell from my video, I'm messing up the words. I am tired as all get out. So I'm going to go back to bed and rest up for the team talk tonight. That'll be fun. I'll see you guys there. Have a good time.